When my wife first asked me to come to her office party, I thought it was a good chance to meet her colleagues and see the world she was part of every day. But just before we entered the hall, she turned to me with a nervous smile and whispered, "Act like you don't know me." I froze at her words, confused and hurt. She laughed it off, saying it would be fun, like a game, but her tone carried something I couldn't quite ignore. Still, I agreed, thinking maybe she just wanted to keep work and personal life separate. As we walked into the crowded venue, I kept my distance, just as she had asked. She mingled with people easily, her laughter echoing across the room. I watched from the corner as she introduced herself to colleagues, talking about her single life as though I didn't exist. At first, I convinced myself she was only joking, playing along with her coworkers. But the longer I stood there, the more uneasy I felt. Her boss approached her, and the way she lit up was different, warmer, softer. She leaned in close, touching his arm while speaking, her body language full of familiarity. My heart sank. I realized this wasn't a game for her. She wanted me invisible so she could act freely, pretending I wasn't her husband at all. I stayed silent, a spectator to my own humiliation. When she introduced me later to a small group, it wasn't as her husband. She said I was a friend who happened to tag along. The words cut deep, like a betrayal hidden in plain sight. I forced a smile, but inside, something broke. As the night went on, I observed her carefully. Every laugh she shared, every compliment she accepted, and every lingering glance with her boss felt like another knife. It was then I understood. She wasn't just pretending for fun. She had been living a double life. At work, she wasn't married. At home, she wore the mask of a wife. By the time the party was ending, I couldn't take it anymore. I approached her quietly and asked if we could talk outside. She looked startled, almost afraid. Outside the hall, I asked her why she wanted me to act like a stranger. Her face turned pale. She muttered excuses, something about reputation, about not mixing work with personal matters. But her eyes betrayed her, filled with guilt she couldn't hide. I told her I wasn't angry about the game, but about the truth behind it. She broke down, admitting she felt trapped between two identities. She wanted to be admired at work, free of the label married woman. And in that space, she had let herself grow too close to her boss. My chest felt heavy, like the air itself was crushing me. I realized the woman I trusted had already chosen the comfort of her double life over the honesty of our marriage, pretending to be strangers. That night had only made the truth clearer. We really had become strangers. The ride home was silent. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. There was no warmth left to share. Her phone buzzed with a message, and when I glanced, I saw her boss's name. She quickly turned it over, but it was too late. I didn't say a word. That night, I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the evening. The laughter, the lies, the betrayal, they all echoed in my mind. I knew then that our marriage had shifted, perhaps beyond repair. In the following days, she tried to explain, to apologize, to convince me it was nothing serious. But trust, once broken, doesn't heal with words. I watched her struggle, yet I felt no sympathy. Her choices had spoken louder than anything she could say. Finally, I told her the truth. Pretending at her office party had made it real for me. If she wanted me to act like I didn't know her, then maybe I no longer should. I wasn't going to live as a shadow in my own marriage. She cried, begged me to reconsider, but my heart had already hardened. That night at the office party wasn't just about pretense. It was the moment I realized our love had become an act, and I was done playing a role in her performance. In the end, we truly became strangers. She wanted freedom, and I wanted respect. Both couldn't exist together. And so, the game she started ended our marriage, for real. In the weeks that followed, I tried to carry on. But every time I looked at her, I remembered that night, the night she erased me with a smile. One evening, as she sat across from me at the dinner table with tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "I never meant to lose you." For the first time, I realized she wasn't just sorry for being caught. She was sorry because she had truly broken something she could never rebuild. My heart ached, but the wound was too deep. when I finally walked out of the house with my bag in hand. She clung to me, begging for one last chance. I looked into her eyes, once filled with love, now drowning in regret, and I said softly, "You wanted me to act like I didn't know you. Now I really don't." Her sobs followed me out the door, echoing like the final chapter of a love story that had died long before either of us admitted it. And in that moment, I felt both shattered and free.